Hey, welcome to the Personal Development Unplugged podcast with me, Paul Clough, where we are breaking down the complicated, things made complicated by all sorts of reasons, and making things easy so you can get success in your life. Having said that, this episode is all about you getting the results you want, really being able to replicate the things you want, because there is no such thing as a free lunch, and I want you to put the least amount of effort in to get the maximum return and make a difference to your life and everyone else's around you. So do have a listen, because it's going to be great.
Warning.
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 Warning. You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Hey, how you doing? Now we're coming out of all this mad world. I'm not going to say mad world again, I hope. But this is all about, I think, getting results. I can remember something happened to me on my timeline therapy practitioner. It was a practitioner training to teach us timeline therapy. Goes hand in hand, doesn't it really, Cluffy? Yeah, okay. And at that particular time, we invited or allowed other people to come in who were practitioners of NLP but hadn't done the timeline therapy. So we had a bigger class and we were working with, or we had the opportunity to work with different people. Now, I knew that the processes were pretty easy. They were pretty simple, and that didn't put me off too much. Doesn't put me off any more now, but at that time I used to think simple was a little bit too easy. But we were working on letting go of a negative emotion. And I teamed up with this lady I hadn't seen before. She hadn't been part of our practitioner group, so she's one of these new people in. And I teamed up with her to do the exercise, or the drill as some people call it, of letting go of a negative emotion. So there we were. We went into this little side room. We started to work, and it was my turn first. And I was a little bit nervous because I obviously didn't know her, but I thought, I can do this. I can do this. Now, the whole point of timeline therapy is that you don't have a negative reaction. They call it an abreaction in hypnosis terms and things like that, where people go into that significant emotional event and feel it again. And the whole point about timeline therapy is you never have to feel that old feeling again, especially from the root cause. Or I say that again, from the root cause. So there I am, I said, float up above your timeline, turn around to face the past, and float all the way over the past, all the way back. And all of a sudden, boom, she crumbled in front of me on the chair and started bursting into tears and shaking. And I'm thinking, this is not supposed to happen. This is, but it shouldn't happen. And I froze. It was so weird because I'd been so confident because it was so easy. And then all of a sudden, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. And my words wouldn't come out. And luck would have it, as it always does. The old teacher comes when the moment requires them to be there, or whatever that saying is. But anyway, Martin, our trainer, was walking by just at that moment. And he went, "Whoa, what's happening here?" with a big smile on his face. And I thought, that's a weird reaction. I'm panicking here and you're smiling. He said, "Oh, whoa. And he had a little chat, and he got this young lady out of that old emotion. And I sat back, and he said, "Right, where were you up to?" And I said, "Well, I've done this, and this." He said, "Okay, fine. So this is what I want you to do, Paul." And I said, whoa, hang on, Martin. Look, you've just seen what's happened. Can you show me what to do? And he went, "Absolutely not." He was a great trainer, by the way, because he said, "Absolutely not, Paul. You can do it. This is what I just want to make sure you do." And he told me a few things, and he checked it with this lady, and she said, "Yeah, absolutely. That would work perfectly." So I'm learning like a good one here, because I'm thinking this, to some extent, is a magical moment for me. You might say, "Cluffy, why is this magical?" Because things didn't work the right way straight away. And I think that was the magic, because that's when I was really learning. I'd taken myself right over the edge of and into a little bit of chaos. We talked about that before, from stable to chaos and finding that midline. But I'd gone a little bit too far. But now Martin had brought me back just on that line again. And he said, I know you can do it. I'll come back later. So he wasn't even going to stand and watch me. And I thought, blimey, okay. So I smiled, put on my therapist state, as it were. Internally, I set my intention. Oh, please, God help me. That was sort of my intention at that time. But I worked my butt off. And you know what? That was then. Well, do you know what? The thing about this is, though, do you notice there's a scam around every corner? Especially, well, I notice it more in the self-improvement market, as it were. This self-improvement, hypnosis gain. So, even with the law of attraction, there are so many self-improvement gurus around every corner, and they seem to be, to me, to scam us a little bit. In fact, some of them quite a lot. They come up with this fishing for clicks to get people enticed. I manifest this easy. I got so many $1,000 in 24 hours by just doing this. Make more money on the internet while you sleep. Do this. And when you look at them, they were they are scammy, but then they're preying on people's need to have this thing quickly without any effort. Because they're all about no effort at all. The only effort is paying these guys money. And they do it in such a honed way, I guess. But this always begs me the question, and I'll say it to both of us. When I say you, I mean you and I. Have you ever got something without doing something? Applying yourself. Think about it really, because on first thought, I was like, yeah, I'm sure there's stuff I've got something for without doing anything. But no, I had to apply myself. Because everything I've done, I've had to do something for. Sometimes it's not the biggest thing, but I had to really work. Well, the big things, I knew I had to put not necessarily masses of effort into it, but I had to really apply myself, focus, put my whole motivation, my whole will to do whatever it takes to get there. And the thing is, when I got there, man, that's one of the best feelings you can have. And that's what I get that more and more and more now with the things I do, especially when I'm working with clients, because when you put yourself into that will to do whatever it takes, you're going to do everything you can, and boom, you're where the magic happens. You are part of that creation. So I wondered, a question, I want to carry on this question with you. What was your best achievement? I want you to think back, if you could just now. Now, you don't have to close your eyes for this, but it might be good if you did. So if you did, or you do, please make sure you're sitting down, or you're not going to get bumped by somebody or whatever, but you can do it outside. It's nice and fresh or whatever. Just be careful, no driving, things like that. But just think, if you could think of that one time at the moment where you had a wonderful achievement, where it felt so great, can you recall it now? And as you recall it, just go back there now and see what you saw then. What did it look like? What were you seeing? How were you seeing the world when you were achieving this wonderful achievement, doing something that you really applied yourself to? You put energy into it. You've put emotion into it. You put motivation into it. What did you say to yourself as you were doing it? What was that belief you had about yourself when you were going through it? And then when you achieved that wonderful end, the end of that thing that you achieved, what was your belief about yourself then? And what was the type of voice you were using? Maybe on the outside and on the inside. And maybe what did it feel like in your body? Just, the physical feeling. Did it feel tired? Or were you still buzzing with energy? Maybe you could even taste or smell that success. And when you think about it now, with all of those wonderful senses, what you were seeing, listening to, feeling, smelling and tasting. Just notice that emotion inside. What was the feeling? The feeling, the drive, the energy. Just notice that emotion. And you don't have to put a label on it. You can if you want to. You can make up a label for it if you want, right now, so you and your unconscious mind can remember this, because that's all we're doing. We're re-remembering a wonderful piece of success. But when you think about it now, with all of that, did it just happen? Or did you choose and make it happen? Did you put effort into it? And what was the return on your investment? What was the feeling? Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Awesome. Well, come back to me. Open your eyes. We're back in the room, as it were. Well, here's the thing. Could you do that again, do you think? Well, if you think about it now, well, if you've done it once, of course you can do it again. And you think, because you've done it once, or maybe if you thought about it, how many times have you put that type of effort in with that motivation, focus, and access all the wonderful resources, the skills and behaviours? You surely could do it a little quicker next time, couldn't you? Or certainly if it wasn't quicker, it would be smoother. And in fact, it'd be even less effort, wouldn't it? Because you'd be honing your skills and using the learnings from the past and learning even more to hone your skills even more, to make it slightly less of an effort. Or maybe you put more effort into it now, more drive, more emotion, because you know you can, you believe you can. You see, this is part of what I wanted to tell you was, the effort you put in the right way really pays off, doesn't it? But understanding what effort is, and feeling energized and looking for that uncomfortable feeling between that chaos and that stability. We've talked about it before, Jordan Peterson, a couple of podcasts ago. Because there's no free meals, is there? But the thing is, the free meals are in the scam bit, and we're not into the scam. But the thing is, when you start doing this, and you start doing it more often, you start accessing the model that you use, the process that you use, the feelings of the internal visions that you have, the internal pictures in your mind, the internal representation, and the feeling that it gave you, the emotion, and the physiology which ultimately gave you that behavior of consistent effort. I had a thought. What would happen if you did that little process again and just go back there? Go back to that wonderful place where you were achieving. And you go all the way through that memory to the end. When you get that wonderful feeling, that wonderful emotion of success, and you anchor it now. Just touching a finger and a thumb or a special place in your body that is so unique that when you press it again, boom. And what word would you say? I just said boom, but what would you say instead when you're having that wonderful feeling of success and that motivation? Because if you anchor that feeling and have that word, boom, guess what? The next time you start a project or you do anything that requires your focus, remember, that investing in you. When you start those things, when you really start to invest in you and you fire off this emotion and boom, guess how? Well, you're just going to keep repeating the wonderful good process and you learn from this or something better. You see, this reminded me of when we were talking about this. It wasn't a scam thing, but I don't know if you remember, there's a film put out called The Secret. Lots of these gurus came on and told you all about the law of attraction. And they called it The Secret, The Secret, The Secret, The Secret. That's how it came across. Which buzzed me a little bit because I don't like things being a secret when, if it's a law of attraction, it's there for everyone. But they missed something because on the selling, it was all about, well, just wish for it. Imagine it. Imagine the thing that you want. Hey, I was driving to this place and I imagined a parking space, and guess what? As soon as I drove up, a car pulled out and there was my parking space. Yeah, I know that happens. We've all done it. We wish for something and it happens. But the thing is, what were we doing? We were driving to that car parking space. We were looking for it, where our attention was focused on it as well. And that's what they missed. Because there were people who used to write into the various forums and said, I've watched the film The Secret at least 100 times and it still hasn't worked for me. It just hasn't worked. And I keep watching it over and over again. And I think about things and they don't come. Well, they forgot. It takes action, which is effort and energy, isn't it? You have to put your own effort and energy into the thing that you want, not just think it. You have to do that. We talk about the 5 keys to success, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You have to take that intuitive action. Because you see, it's the old thing. Energy goes where your focus or intention goes. And if you're focused on sitting on the bloody couch watching a film, well, that's what you get. But if you start looking at that plan, that project, that thing that you want, your goal, your wish, and you really focus on it, that's where your attention goes. That's where your energy goes. And if you fire off that anchor, boom, thinking of that time when you had that wonderful success, you start accessing all those skills. And guess what? That's when people just get lucky, isn't it? Because all of a sudden, things just happen. But it takes effort. It takes effort. It's a bit like becoming an overnight sensation. In the 10 years coming up to it, though, we didn't see that bit. The effort, the energy, the will to do whatever it takes. Because that's what I ask my clients. Every time they come in, we're having a consultation. And I say, you don't have to believe what I do. Because you don't. All you have to have is the will to do whatever it takes. And if you think about it, it's a will to do, take action, because it's a do with therapy, is a do with process. It's a collaborative process. And so is the programs and the things that you're doing, the goals, the wishes. They're processes, but you know how to do them, but you have to do them. And how do we do that? Because, we talk about the return on investment. Now, what I say, let's find the way that gets the most return on your investment. The easiest way to get the most back, which is that, in simplicity, there's genius. Not the most easiest way, but keeping it simple so we can achieve the things we want to do in a set process. How do we do that? Well, it always helps, I guess. And we've talked about it a little bit before, but finding our whys. Everyone says, find your why. Because if you find your why, you're finding what's important to you, your value, the value you place on this goal. And you'll get an emotion. And if you spell that out, emotion, the motion of doing things. You see, if you find your plan and the emotion of getting to the end and seeing yourself, if you were visualizing it out, seeing yourself achieving success, a bit like seeing your past successes, but this is in the future, you get that feeling, the feeling of success of that particular process or that particular project, that goal, that wish. And you'd have that feeling of the wish fulfilled. And you add that to the anchor firing, boom, and then you can create a plan. And you have a plan. You know your outcome. Because that's, well, I say we, because I mean we, including me. Sometimes we just head off on that plan without knowing what the real outcome is. So we need to know what the outcome is. What's our intention for getting it, as well as our why? And then, when we've got our plan, we've got our direction, our aim in mind, then we can apply those 5 keys to success. What are they, Cluffy? I'll ask you the same. What are they? Let's say together. Number 1, know your outcome. Know the direction you want. Know what you want. So you know specifically what you want when you want it. And then, when you've done this, the whys and the importance and things like that, and you've got an idea exactly what you're going to do, take that massive intuitive action, because that's your focus, your attention. That's where your energy is going. And when you get your unconscious mind giving you those signals, this is the thing to do. Act upon it. And as you're acting upon it, you need to become aware. Become aware of the steps that you're taking, the action you're taking. Because sometimes we might jump a little bit too soon, or we might just be a little bit off the direction we're going. Did you know an aeroplane is only, probably once in the right direction when it lands? Because when it takes it off, it's not pointing in the right direction. And then with all the winds and that, they're always making little adjustments just to keep things on track. So when we do land, we're actually, that's a pretty big success, isn't it? It's the only one you really want. So you're being aware of things coming up, So when you notice something, maybe an obstacle, maybe something you just got to move around or something you got to mitigate, you can be flexible enough to change your behavior, to access something else, to put your energies into finding the solution to that little thing. Because then you go back to the plan, look at your outcome, make sure I'm heading towards the outcome, using that intuitive action. And then, just as you become aware, being that flexibility again, flexibility in your behaviors. And you're doing this all with the psychology and physiology of excellence, and that is where you focus your energy, your emotion. God, it's so, it just gets me every time I talk about this, and that's why I repeat it. And it's good to repeat these things because repetition is the mother of skill. If it's good repetition, and it's a skill that you want to hone. We talk about honing that skill and that learning. Because you see, there was I, this young lady who had collapsed in front of me, crying, and now I was totally responsible for what was happening. And we had a little anchor to keep her in a comfortable state. And she flew back all the way over the past. She learnt, which is timeline therapy, learning, unconscious learning from the root cause. And then we had her come back, sit in front of me. She opened her eyes when she was back in the room, as it were. She looked at me, crying, and I went, oh no. And she said, hey, Paul, stop. These are tears of joy. Come here. And she gave me the biggest bloody hug you could imagine. And whoa, I thought, it was unreal. Because I didn't give up. I wasn't allowed to give up. That was one of the greatest learnings I had there. You're not giving up. You're doing this. This is what Martin did for me. He could have taken over and done it for me and showed me. I wouldn't have learned. I'd have learned a little bit. But the confidence and competence I got from that. See, I paid my dues. I put my energy in. And it came out and I thought, that was good. And I'm pretty good at this as well. Now I'll allow a little bit more. And the thing about this story is, it's a true story, by the way. I love doing timeline therapy. I've been in a room with people that have changed their lives completely, let go of such bad things in a moment or two. And so I've honed my skill. They were like, I would look back over those achievements and then look how I did it, the feelings, what I was looking at, how was I talking to myself, and got better and better. And the thing is, this story is 18 years ago, at least 18, maybe 19 now. And you know what? It still gives me a buzz. It really does. I can remember, vividly, as I've told you, but it also gives me a buzz to think about all the other things I've done in that genre of hypnosis, or that genre of helping people, therapy. I don't like the word therapy. It's helping people change their lives. And you have to put the effort in. Well, I put the effort in. Did I get a return on my investment? Absolutely. Massive return on my investment. In fact, I'm still sticking in my investment and getting returns every day of the week. And it still gives me a buzz. What about you? Where's your buzz? Can you remember that buzz from that success? What about other successes? Can you get that buzz? Could you anchor that? Boom. And I wonder now, if you just pause for a moment, you love pausing, don't we? To muse. And if you did have a journal out, or if you decided maybe this evening or tomorrow morning that you got your journal out, and just maybe did a few bullet points or a mind map of the things you've done, that you just had brilliant achievements. And that will remind you how you felt. That will remind you, or certainly remind your unconscious mind, these are the feelings that you want to replicate over and over again, but also this or something better. And when you do, things are going to change, not just for you, because we know that. I know that you're going to change. Just listening to this, I know it will have gone inside and things will be different. But if you actually sit down and do that mind map, those bullet points, it's going to make the ripples of change even go further and further. And you may suddenly get more intuitive with ideas. You may get more creative. You may get more emotion. You may get more confidence. You may just get curious of what else can I do to make a difference? Because you will make a difference to your life, but those ripples of change not only go through every context of your life, as we know, but they'll also affect the people within those contexts, the people around you, the people who are connected to you. You're going to become the change you want to see in yourself and others, because they'll just get it too. And it'll be so environmentally positive because it'll be good for you, be good for the people around you. And I know it'll be good for this little old planet Earth. And that's, we've been harping on about that for a little while, but it's got to be at the core, hasn't it? We've got to be looking after ourselves, others, and this little old planet Earth. And when we do that, that will spread too, won't it? That will spread to the other people. And I said I wouldn't say mad world, but some of the people have been a little bit mad lately. Let's communicate in the best way we can by being the example of the change we want to be. Have more fun than you can stand and enjoy every heartbeat. And as usual, as I talk to you, the unconscious mind, remember to forget the things you don't need to remember and remember things which are important to you. Maybe every day, surprise their conscious mind and make them feel happy for no blooming reason. Enjoy every heartbeat, and I'll speak to you real soon. It's Paul Clough, Personal Development Unplugged. Doing a little bit for this world, for you, for me, with NLP and hypnosis. Bye-bye now. Hey, before you go, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the things that you heard. But more than that, I hope you got a golden nugget out of this, a little golden nugget, a little piece of information that may just change your life. I hope you did. I know there's more than one in there somewhere, and I know you'll find it, because when you set your intention to find what you want, I know you'll find it. So find those golden nuggets. I'd love the feedback to know what you did find, what you found interesting, what you did with it, and the results you got. If you just email me at I'll say that again, email me at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com. And I know you, like me, like sharing the things that we learn. So please share this episode, share the podcast. Please tell people about it. It does me some good. It makes me feel good, I know that. A little bit of ego in there, but also it will share these type of learnings and get people interested in changing their lives too. And that's got to be a good thing. So if you can share this, it's like a pay it forward. And also just make sure you subscribe if you could. If you enjoyed these episodes, please subscribe. There'll be a subscribe button in the platform you listen to. Search for Personal Development Unplugged or my name, Paul Clough. Hit the subscribe button and then we'll have more fun every time we talk to each other. Anyway, enjoy.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.